I put wasabi in the panties of a billionaire's wife so I could become her husband's bride. That same day, she refused to be intimate with him. I was sure that such a thirsty man would fall for the hot nanny. But he paid no attention to me. Still, I didn't get upset because I had a backup plan. I got closer to the billionaire's wife and pretended to be her friend in order to learn all the family's weak points. The next day, the wife's face was covered with terrible acne, thanks to the allergens I added to her expensive skincare. Not knowing what was happening, she applied even more of the toxic mix. I expected the billionaire to be disgusted by that monster. But he kissed her just as passionately as before. So I used my next tool. My precious ones, this is for you. That way you won't feel lonely during my day off. While my lady tried to cover her face with makeup, her children painted to their heart's content. However, when I came back, I found a pathetic scene.
Don't worry, honey. The papers were only worth a couple of millions.
The lovebirds were yet to see the biggest weapon in my arsenal. Their youngest daughter loved cutting things. Therefore, when the billionaire's business partners showed up for dinner, they got a spectacular dessert, the hostess buttocks. The humiliated lady ended up being the one dealing the most painful blow to her husband.
The children have become quite naughty.
Don't blame a 5-year-old child.
The billionaire grew up in an orphanage, so the little ones were the most precious thing in his life. The perfect family finally started to crack. And I showed mercy by offering my strong shoulder to the man of the house. I prepared his favorite hot chocolate and handed him a flyer. Sir, the kids say that their mommy is not in a good mood. I have an idea. I convinced the billionaire that his wife needed some time alone to relax and reset. Not only that, but the lady loved the ocean, while he suffered from seasickness.
I'm glad my children have such a wise and kind nanny.
As soon as she boarded the plane, I set up some new treacherous traps. I guess our plan worked. Your wife is having a great time. I showed him her social media profile in which she posted photos with her ex. Of course, it was all Photoshop. Still, it did the trick. Shocked, the billionaire nervously called his wife. She didn't pick up. Or rather, I didn't. After all, I replaced her number with mine in his phone. Sir, would you like some hot chocolate? Along with the chocolate, I served him a triple dose of pills for his manhood. While he treated me to a drink, I finally picked up the phone.
Honey, Why didn't you answer? Are you with him?
In response, I moaned and hung up in his face. The billionaire was furious, yet I was ready to comfort him. Sir, is there anything else I can do for you? Surprisingly, he just wished me a good night. No, I had gone too far to give up that easily. I poured my master a shot of alcohol, then one more, and another. He kissed me hard while pushing me into the bedroom. However, our passionate night was cancelled when he blacked out. I could very well twist that situation to my advantage. By morning, it looked like we had an incredibly hot night together. The billionaire, of course, believed it. But instead of the desired happily ever after, he handed me money and ordered me to pack my things.
Regardless of what my wife does, I'm a decent man. I can't cheat.
I was on the verge of failing, so I burst into tears and said I wouldn't take the money. Please, don't fire me. Your kids have become family to me. I'm like a second mother to them. My performance touched the unloved orphan daddy's heart. He allowed me to stay, and I moved on to the final act. His wife didn't answer any calls for a week. Meanwhile, I started feeling nauseous, so I took a pregnancy test. Sir, I won't be able to raise a baby alone. I guess I'll have to give it up. What a shame. The billionaire had to choose between being a decent husband or a flawless dad.
Don't worry, I'll help you.
Sir, it's not about the money. This child will need a father. That's how I got promoted to the ultimate, passionate stepmother. When his wife returned from vacation, divorce papers were waiting for her. The house finally was the perfect hostess. Me. Security escorted my rival out, and I started living my dream. I even had my own maid who cooked, cleaned, and carried my shopping bags every day.
Aren't your heels too high? It's dangerous for the baby.
I expected an ardent husband, but ended up with a nervous daddy.
I don't think we should do this. You need to rest and keep your strength.
So be it. If he didn't want to have fun, I had to do it myself. Instead of prenatal appointments, I was going to beauty salons, bars, and clubs. One day, I found a very worried billionaire waiting for me at home.
Honey, how do you feel?
He saw the dirty sheets because I forgot to cover the traces of my sudden period. I kept coming up with excuses, but
I'm very worried about you. Which is why I called the doctor.
I was one step away from being exposed, so I asked him to wait outside the door. I'll give you $10,000 now, and the same amount for each appointment, if you tell my husband I'm expecting a child. Luckily for me, the obstetrician agreed, and the billionaire was allowed back into the room.
Don't worry, the fetus is not in danger. Because there is no fetus.
I was shocked. Then the woman slowly took off her cap, glasses and mask. What are you doing here? While I was spending time outside the house, the kid's mother visited the estate on a daily basis and talked to them. She quickly put the pieces together regarding the divorce and presented the facts to her ex-husband. I was prepared to end up on the street. Yet the retaliation was much harsher. The couple called the police, and I was charged with fraud, as well as intent to harm. I lost not only the life I dreamed of, but also my freedom. Remember, the truth will out, and the boomerang always returns to the one who throws it.